Meghan Markle here.
All along, they've claimed Charles has nothing to do with the decision on Harry's security. Now Harry requests WanK do their job by doing the risk assessment he's entitled to, and it's an attack on Charles. Make it make sense. Prince Harry formally requests a WanK risk assessment, and the palace is big mad celebrity. Okay, so let's continue. Let's see what's this about. Alright, so I'm starting part 2 of the recording. Part 1 is on PYTE. Okay, thank you. How is independent body doing their job suddenly an attack on Charles? It's almost as if he has sway over said body and hates how his son won't give up. Any hope I have of Charles actually behaving decently toward Harry is thrown out the window. What truly vile, horrible man being? You will think, knowing you're going to die because of your cancer, you straighten out your priorities and stop acting like a total and completely dog shit person. Nope, I guess not. You know what that remind me? That TikToker who was talking about Kate. If someone who had cancer, if she did have cancer, your priority would have changed. You would not be thinking of trying to overshadow Meghan while she's in New York. Okay, it's almost the same thing here. But the thing is that what I think Harry's doing, he's making sure. At this point, yes, he does care because Invictus is coming. He's going to go to the UK. So he's going to need the police protection. So he wants to make sure to turn every stone. So, you know, people will say he tried. Okay, because what they said about Princess Diana is that Princess Diana did not want police protection because what stupid reason did they bring? She thought that the police were spying on her for Charles or something like that.
In October 1996, Princess Diana flew to Italy to be given a medal for her contribution to humanitarian work, especially in the field of public health. When she had attempted to withdraw from public life back in 1993, she had insisted on her Scotland Yard bodyguards being permanently removed, apparently because she was worried that they might be spying on her.
So Harry wants to make sure to do all he can. Now, there's a possibility Harry is reading between how the UK was able to try to get Invictus to the UK. So I don't know, they're probably planning something, and Harry wants to make sure if he's gonna show up over there, he wants to make sure his security is intact. All right. Any hope I have? Okay, so I read that. Seems he's committed to dying the shift person he's always been. And then we've learned, okay, at least I've learned that not only some of the people in WanK also work for the palace, and there's this key guy, I forgot his name. It seems like he's the key person who's trying to, I'm not trying to give a pass to Charles, okay? Because I think Charles, just like Harry have said, the royal family is trapped.
I'm acutely aware of where my family stand and how scared they are of the tabloids turning on them.
Turning on them for what? They're the royal family.
Yes, but it's there is this invisible, what's termed or referred to as the invisible contract behind closed doors between the institution and the tabloids, UK tabloids.
How so?
Well, it is to simplify it, it's a case of if you as a family member are willing to wine, dine, and give full access to these reporters, then you will get better press.
What do you care about better press if you're royal?
I think everyone needs to have some compassion for them in that situation, right? There is a level of control by fear that has existed for generations I mean,
But
generation
who's
after generation.
controlling?
My father and my brother, they are trapped. They don't get to leave. And I have huge compassion for that.
Okay, they trap him, and there's a lot of decision that he's making. I don't think Charles is fully in control, and Harry knows that. Okay, so all of those things that he's doing is to make sure, probably help the royal family get release them from that chain that they are trapped in. Okay, again, I don't know, it's just my humble opinion based on other things that I've seen. So this particular person who worked in both Rivik and at the palace, and I think is trying to probably the key person who's making the decision, and then make it seem like it's under the guidance of Charles. Okay, yeah, I am puzzled by this. It's a request. He is not asking Charles to do anything. I don't understand why Charles is involved. If he is outside the process, it's almost like they lie that he can do nothing. Exactly. This is what I'm saying. Harry knows. He's playing along with them. He's playing along with them, but beating them at their own game. So what excuse are they going to have now? Charles is furthered them by the Met Police conducting their own risk assessment, leading to them providing Harry with police protection for his recent visit to the UK. That is very damn indeed. But what's that? William just cried on command. I don't know what WM. Is it women? Okay, could be women. But women just cry on command. How their Harry still the spotlight. Could be William. I don't know what this stands for. There's that. Harry needs the security, but he will be denied again because Charles will and the men in grey suit won't allow it said to say. Alright. Sadly, this is true. And this is what I'm saying. Harry knows. He's playing along with them and trying to make them reveal themselves. And I think Harry wants to say what he knows, but he can't. So they don't sue him for whatever. Sadly, this is true. At this stage, I think it's as much to have all this documented as anything else. That's what I think. Okay? This is what I think. Couple things. Not only to be documented so people don't say that he didn't want security. Because the excuse they gave to Princess Diana is what I just said a few minutes ago. And also, if the royal family are truly trapped by the media, whatever they probably have on them, is somewhat to unshackle the royal family from that particular thing. Okay, turning every effing stone. This is what I'm saying here. I regret nothing, the end. Alright, so he wants to make sure to turn every stone, every possibilities, every opportunities that he has to make sure that he asks for security. Okay, Harry's request for an up-to-date risk assessment is perfectly reasonable and should be highly recommended. Given his recent close call with a known stalker, it is imperative that he knows just how grave the current risk is to his personal safety and that of his family. There's that. The UK dastard corrupt media think, as the world is watching, we are all idiotic as they've thought. Over the decades, brainwashing and with their tactical propagandistic scheme have programmed the world as they believe they've done to the 69.3 million UK residents because they are complicit in the decision. Yeah, because remember, next year, 2026, there is a lawsuit. Harry was suing 3 of the papers. 2 of the one he sued, he won. And there's one more. So remember how they said they want 28 days notice for them to know if he's coming so they could provide him security? And Harry doesn't want to comply to that. Why do you need 28 days notice? All right. So they could know all of the places that he's going to go and things like that? Nah. A way to go, Harry. Okay, love it. I'm shocked the court did not do a risk assessment, but then again, this is the royal court. And this is why I say when I talk about the mental health thing that the royal family needs, especially William, okay, they need to go outside of the UK because it seems like every professional, people who spend years in school for their respective field, when it comes to the royal family, they throw away their education. They don't follow the ethic based on their education. Everything out the window. So this is why I said they need to get a professional who don't give a damn about the royal family, the institution, who have no connection with the UK. Alright, and if they say do not do a risk assessment, meaning that could determine Harry and his family life or death, so be it. Okay, and once Will gets that big title, please, Harry, don't even try again because that's a big waste of time. I really think he's trying to make sure, okay, turn every stone so people don't say he didn't ask for it. Let me pause. I'm losing where I'm at now. Let me make sure. I'm done with this tweet. Okay, so this is the next tweet. So I came across this video. It's only 5 seconds. It's William doing his performative thing with that lady again. I spoke about it in one video. I have not edited it yet. All right. Who has been highlighted and spotlighted with the added music? Let's see here. Remember, this is a story of the lady near the end. This lady, I believe it was back in 2017. Her and William have already spoken about the death of her husband and her son. So at that time, in terms of mental health and things like that, William did not show any remorse. There were a truly conversation that was going on. But now after Harry went to Kiev, Ukraine, and he saw the things about where did he go? I forgot where he went, where Harry was very emotional. So now, due to Mental Health Day and William trying to somewhat connect with people, he went back to that same lady who he had already spoken to and already known of her issues, and now he's showing some sort of a remorse. Okay, it's almost like when he said "take two" when he was young with Princess Diana.
Harry joined in.
So have you recently?
All right, so this is what this is, pretending he cares, copying Harry.
Okay.
The lady knows. I've seen other clip, but oh my god. The lady's asking, "Are you okay?" When he should be asking the lady if she's okay. Look at her face. She knows he's acting. Oh my god. And the award goes to Dry Eye Billy Idol. Get the F out of here. This clown is sick. Okay, in my humble opinion, Willie is a performative waste man. What he did with Rihanna in 2017 and now in 2025 is abusive and unforgivable. To use her actual grief and for her to agree after receiving MBE is as egregious. Oh, so did she receive a MBE? All right. This is evil, wicked, diabolical. How many times can William be caught in a lie? This is why sometimes I think why they're putting people in poverty. So when people, I'm not saying this lady's in poverty. This is just a thought, completely detached from that lady's situation. But I could see why they're putting people in poverty. That way, when they're manipulating them, they could give them any small amount of money for them to, because people need money to survive, to buy goods, services, or whatnot. So when they provide them with a small amount of money so they could forget about their own, what's the term, ethic, their own morals, so they could comply because they need the money. Okay, I'm not saying this lady is, but this is just a thought that came to mind after seeing that. And also with the MBE as well, those alphabet letters, I don't know. Did the lady know? Who knows? Did the lady knows that William gonna do? I don't know, but oh my God, this is a shame. This is sad and sick. Shameless, a new movie starting Crocodile Tears Willie. Alright, there's this here. According to this, he did the same interview in 2017, but a totally different reaction. Need to check though. Alright, so there's this here. And let's not forget, it is one of the squad who pointed out. Okay, go to some old videos, last week videos about that. Prince William deserved a BAFTA Film Award for Best Acting Performance. In 2017, during an interview with the same woman, he didn't cry or seem to care much. But in 2025, while interviewing her again with the same story, he was crying. What a shameless man. Oh my God, if this was genuine, then he should have insisted that scene was cut in order for the focus on the recording to be about the issue, not about him. It's the lady said, "Are you okay?" There again, if this was genuine, that should never have been filmed, let alone broadcast as some shameless PR exercise. That's pure evil, William. You use a woman's tragedy for your PR blunder. I do hope she wasn't in on it. Watching him makes me cringe. I don't understand if you want popularity and praise, do the work and stop performing the authentic and stop pretending you care. Putting on the performance of a lifetime. Even the woman herself is side-eyeing him. Can't believe they even added a sad soundtrack to this farce. It's so contrived. Is he hoping to be able to nominate himself for a BAFTA this year? Can you imagine? Well, he is the president of BAFTA, but can you imagine they went behind him and give him the award? This parasite wants to be a Hollywood actor. Those fake tears are pathetic. I managed to avoid actually seeing this up to now. Dear God, I just can't. Alright, so let's go to the next tweet. It's crazy. Unbelievable. I have 3 more. There it is again. She can't believe it. She was like, what a faker. I already told him the same story back in 2017. This twat doesn't care about suicide prevention. Meghan asked for help and said she was suicidal. He went after her harder and waited, boy.
Was the move about getting away from the UK press, because the press is, is everywhere, or was the move because you weren't getting enough support from the firm?
It was both.
Both.
I needed to do this for my family. This is not a surprise to anybody. It's really sad that it's got to this point, but I've got to do something for my own mental health, for my wife's, and for Archie's as well, because I could see where this was headed.
If you zoom in, what I see is how tightly his knuckles are gripped around mine. You can see the whites of our knuckles because we are smiling and doing our job, but we're both just trying to hold on.
So the lady spoke. I am glad that she spoke. Really, it's so fake. And you know what I like about this though? I'm glad he was the only one with her. If they had brought and made Kate along with him, they will try to shift the blame to Kate. So it's only him who's taking the plunder. He should have left his brother and his family alone. Sussex squad is going nowhere and the Sussexes are getting more supporters. Maybe he should get his psycho fans on a leash and move on with his own useless life. Yeah, that's what I said. So this is the 2017 one. You guys could go watch it. Let me click on it so I could put the link only, okay? But I'm not gonna play it. Can I get it? Okay, the link will not show. But anyway, it's there. I can get the link. Alright, let's pause this. It must feel dreadful to have your grief used by such shallow people. I mean, they do that all the time. It's just now, especially the squad, who's calling them out. Because from what I've read on Twitter, after the squad called them out, they removed that video from wherever it was on their page, the royal family page. Prince William crocodile tears, they can't help themselves. And perhaps she won't want to remember some aspect because it's painful. It's the past that probably she has been working hard to control the emotion. And now, here he comes. Alright, that's a different language. Prince Max, happy to see I was not the only one who thought this. Imagine being the children to that monster. I pray for them. I hope they get the same blessing as Harry, because Harry grew up in that viper nest place. Those backstabbers. Alright, so this is another clip from it. When the lady tells you her son plays rugby in the same position as his late father, you ask what position. Don't ask if he likes rugby. Oh, maybe he didn't know the position of the husband? Okay, 14 seconds. Unless if she had already mentioned the position the husband said, played.
And Isaac's turning into quite a nice little rugby player. And he plays the same position as Paul, would you believe? So that's really nice as well. So, yeah. So I'm gonna...
Was Paul massively into rugby now, was he?
Yeah, he played a lot of rugby, hockey and cricket. And Isaac's turning into quite a nice little rugby player.
Over. I had to say that. I could understand. If the woman, the lady did not say the position the husband played, Did I hear it here? I don't know. She said rugby, different sports. But if the woman did not mention the exact position the husband play, and then also make the reference the son play the same position as the husband, so maybe he should have asked what position the husband play. You understand what I mean? So I'm not going to blame him unless if he mentioned here and I didn't catch it. All right, there's that. William is acting. He has zero interest in the life of this lady. Let's pause this. The royals are an illusion created and supported by the Empire squid-like firm and its army of media patsies. Beyonce is more real than this clown, yet gullible Brits still buy the brand, said. Not all of them. It's just that, you know, this is an institution that's been there for a long time. Every base, what I mean by base is every office, every position of government, everything that the people could go for help or something like that, they keep a grip on it. This is why they give those people those alphabet awards, so they could put their people, okay, who's on the same team as them into those positions. So when they are in those positions, they keep the grip going. It's almost like a different form of open prison, just like the Middle East Palestinian had. Okay, but this one, they pretend that the people are free, but they're not actually free. Every position of power, the royal family have their people in those positions to control the people, the little people. Okay, so that cycle that needs to break. And you know, they need to get people from different classes to be in those positions in order to open up for other people to rise up or be self-sufficient, or why would I say that? Be able to make money so they could take care of themselves. So I don't know. I hope I'm explaining it right. Okay? All form of position of power is being controlled by people who the royal family have connection with and allow them to keep a grip on the little people. Okay, so that's the only thing I could say about that. Similar to what Trump is trying to do in the US. Okay, he seems like if you are a business person, if you want to, I don't know, get certain things, you have to pay him to make those laws possible, when in fact it should not be. So just pay attention. Well, you don't have to, but if you pay attention to how Trump is trying to do in the US, because right now the US is at its initial steps of becoming similar to the UK. So if you see how Trump is doing, just think of this is what's happening. The UK is already established. It's settled. The people are comfortable in those places. So there was something I was thinking. But what's happening here, we don't see it all the time because the media is already controlled by Trump types of people. Okay, go on some of my videos. I spoke about Will Lewis, the Murdoch, and things like that, how they try to change some of the papers, Wall Street Journal, Washington Post, and all of that. So he already has his people to blind, okay, the public of what they're doing. But what's happening here is that there are some independent journalists who are still reporting the truth to let people know what's going on. So even though they hijack the mainstream media and like, for instance, PBS, okay, public broadcast station, okay, he's been after it for a very long time, since his first term. He did not want the government to fund PBS, where PBS is a public broadcast. It should not take any side. It just report the news. So he tried to defund it. So what some people are doing, instead of having cable, not all, but instead of having cable when CNN is on cable, MSNBC is on cable, and some other news outlet are on cable, so they unsubscribe to those cable. Instead, they are supporting those independent journalists who's giving them true reporting. Okay, so while the UK, it's almost like I haven't read Byline, for instance. Byline in the UK, all right, it's almost what some of the independent journalists in the US is doing. To further elaborate my original thought is that when the elite people, because it's control that they want, control of every single thing, every office of power, every places that's supposed to give benefit of the doubt or listen to give a balanced, fair result of whatever it may be. So these people, the elites, when I said these people, the elites people, the one who wants to control everything, they already have their people in those places. So let's say, for instance, when Harry was in the UK, when he goes to Ipso, okay, majority of the people who are in Ipso are the people from the media, the papers. So when Harry goes to Ipso to get a fair review because the media is talking negative, defamatory things about him, what did they used to tell him? They give him a blind eye as if the paper didn't do anything wrong. So Harry stopped going there to Ipso. Instead, he takes his issues straight to the court. But now what I see here with Harry's security, when the court should have been, okay, completely blind to what's happening, but listen to the issues that was at hand and give a fair trial and result. But instead, they turn it back to Vivek or to Harry's father, to the palace and all of that. So there is no balance. There's no equal of anything. So when those elite people are in power, they want control of everything. They create all sort of offices, okay, to give people as if there is a fair balance that's going on. You could get fair trial or fair representative and things like that. But at the end of the day, all right, the people always in some shape or form or depend on the issues. Whether it's a small little issue, it will not give a dent or the elites don't care. They will give you a small little win. But if it means something to them, the win will always go to the elite. Am I making sense here? All right, it's control. Pretty much it's control. The little people, they want the little people to remain where they are, whatever level they are. If it's in the UK, let's say the peasant stays there. If it's in the US, the poor, the middle class, you stay where you are. You're not supposed to go above your station. So they want control. And then by having control, you remain where you are, and they control how much you get. And this is what Trump is trying to do, okay? Trying to have a grip of everybody. Certain group of people, like for instance, they thought after taking all the immigrants, the other people who's not citizen outside of the U.S., they think the blacks will be going back to the field and all of that. Meanwhile, while they were trying to suppress, they never let black people free anyway, but black people were educating themselves. They were doing different things. So after they got rid of everybody and they thought the blacks would be going to the field, no, they already have their education. They worked their butt off. Okay, it wasn't easy. They worked their butt off to get that education. So they're holding different positions, doctors, lawyers, this and that. And now the whites are like, what happened? How come they're not coming back? All right. So it's a lot. It's a lot to take in. You just have to read between the lines, use your senses, see what's going on around your environment. All of these things are not going to come out straight to you. You have to read between the lines. Okay. I hope I make sense, or I'm probably not saying anything. Maybe I'm not even making sense. But anyway, let's get back to the original recording. Okay? So that's that. Let's leave that alone. Next tweet. I have one more, and the rest that I have, it will be, I have some fashion. Okay, so these are some of the things that was happening while Harry and Meghan are doing their thing in New York and in DC. There is a cavern of space between these two. I promise. This is the only time I'll post their pic today. I think I did something. Oh, there's me here. Why is she missing a leg? No, the way it shows us that barrier here, it's behind. It looks like she's missing a leg. Okay, haha. All that money, all the resources, and they look like that. Okay, there is a scientific evidence to support the theory that chronic anger leads to premature aging. I don't know how to explain this, but it seems like you've seen it. Actually, I've seen it in the US. Those evangelicals or those people who claim themselves as Christian, but when you see their practices, is nothing. Is not even Christian. But there's a way that they are dressing. Like the Duggars, I don't know, the 19 kids and counting. When you see the way that they dress, it's almost like the royal family. It seems like there was some kind of concerted effort to turn people into these type of kind of non-looking dressing people. I don't know how to explain it, but it's not just in the UK. There's something that's going on. These people, I think they all are connected. The MAGA mindset, it seems like they are connected. This is the way that they will, I guess they're trying to make people turn into. They already got a good portion, but I think this is their last leg to get everybody into whatever it is that they're trying to do. But there's a effort to turn people or women or I don't know, people that under their control to be dressing like this. But however, this type of dress, okay, they wanted their wives to be dressing like this, or maybe their kids as well to dress like that. But the one that they are effing is they don't dress like that. Dress like that do not get their thing up, okay? This is why the royal family is going outside of their marriage to do their nonsense. Look at Harry. You see Harry needs to go outside of his marriage to get his thing standing up? If you know, you know. Let me leave that alone before my video become rated X. Okay, they are friends. LOL. There's me here putting this. Okay, this is when Harry and Meghan were in New York. Harry's hand was all over Meghan's butt. And then here, space. Let's leave that alone. This is my last one. I need to finish edit whatever I was editing yesterday. I thought I was gonna talk about some security thing. But anyway, this is my last one here. The mom really told everyone what to do if you want the future king to work. Okay? 17 seconds. We've seen this so many times. Oh.
Harry will go. Alright, Harry will have all the fun then. No, it's alright.
You want him to do something? Just say Harry, and he'll come and do the thing. Still works like a charm. Fakey Willie's envy of Harry goes back a long way. Yes, LOL, she put everyone up on a game years ago. There's the laugh here. Okay, let's pause this. Imagine behind closed doors, she probably had to invoke Harry's name to get William to take a bath, tie his shoes, eat his dinner, etc. It's like his program to only do inserted whatever if Harry did it, or in his mind to hurt or make Harry jealous. 100%, there's that, inspired by true event. I read somewhere that mothers should be careful with the word or wishes they cast on their kids. A mother's words are so strong that they become true. Princess Diana blessed Prince Harry in childhood with that line. He will, in fact, have all the fun. Princess Diana knew her children better than anyone. That is true. And I agree with that comment too. There's a lot of time I want to say certain things and I keep it because I've seen evidence of what she just said with my cousin. So this is what happened when you pay attention. I saw it to my cousin. And then when there are times my oldest is driving me nuts, I kept my mouth shut to not say what I want to say. So yes, I agree with this. I read somewhere that mothers should be careful with the words or wishes they cast on their kids. A mother's words are so strong that they become true. Princess Diana blessed Prince Harry in childhood with that line. He will, in fact, have all the fun. This, I totally agree with it because I've experienced, not experienced, I've seen it with my own 2 eyes. Okay, I agree with that. Princess Diana knew her children better than anyone. Bullseye, there's that. Yes, emotional, reactive, there's all of that. LOL. Okay, so the last prayer that I did on my last video was prayer for protection. Let's keep that and pick the second one. A prayer for protection. Almighty God, I pray for your shield of protection to cover our communities and nations. I ask that you guard our leaders, granting them wisdom and discernment to make decisions that will foster peace and prosperity. Amen. All right, so that is it. Please take a moment to subscribe, like, and share. If you want to support this channel, there's a PayPal link and a Cash App link in the description. You could donate. Those who have donated, thank you. I need to make a lot of thumbnails for my videos, this one in particular. All right, so that's it. Thank you for watching.
It is a great privilege to be with all of you today.
You know, we ask for forgiveness and please come back.
As you saw me find the love and happiness that I'd hoped for all my life. You are all in this together, and if I may speak personally, we are all in this together, because asking for help was one of the best decisions that I ever made. You will be continually amazed how life changes for the better